that last run showed the difference of having all the weight on the front there and nothing on the back, because we just had a wheel spin then. So putting the camera over the front wheels took all the weight off the back wheels. Still worked though, went the full distance. Hi guys, I've had it in mind for quite a while now to try and make a rubber band powered car that looks like the one I drew for the logo of this channel. Now I've got some fiberglass rod here. It's actually not straight, which is interesting. It's got a bit of a curve to it. But I'm thinking of using that as the two sides of the chassis. And then to put some cross members on and the axle tubes, I'm thinking of using this fuel pipe, which happens to be, I think it's 6mm diameter, which is what this rod is. Yeah, it's a good fit in there. It's not terribly tight, but it's a good fit. So I'm thinking of using that to hold it in place. Cut just a piece about that long, melt a hole straight through at right angles so we can put the cross tubes in. Yeah, well that's what I have in mind. I shall use my trusty nail on a stick to melt the holes through, and we'll see how we get on. There we go, the finished article. I used 6 pieces of that fuel tubing in the end, melted a hole crossways on each one of them. Where should we start? At this end I've got some bits of hard plastic tubing for the axle to go through, so that's held in place. Here that's just a cross member to give us a little bit of rigidity, to stop it slopping around too much. And then at this end, same type of tubing with a hole in it, and here we've got a hard, I was going to say plastic tube, but I think that one's actually fiberglass, but it doesn't really matter as long as it's a rigid tube so it doesn't collapse when we put the rubber band around it. I've used my bicycle spoke again here, so the wheels are actually freewheeling on the bicycle spoke, and then they're just held in place by one of these electrical connectors, chocolate block. You don't need all 3 of those bits, you only need one of them, and that just stops them sliding off. We've got plastic beads in there to reduce the friction as well. So front wheels are just freewheeling, and the back wheels, rubber band round there, wind it up and see how we go. And the idea is that looks something like the car in my Putarubberbandonit channel logo. Well, that works. Well, that last run showed the difference of having all the weight on the front there and nothing on the back, because we just had a wheel spin then. So putting the camera over the front wheels took all the weight off the back wheels. Still worked though, went the full distance. Summary time. What have we got? Well, we've got a car that's supposed to look like the one on my channel logo for this channel. The two long chassis members are 6mm fiberglass that originally came from one of those pop-up tents that somebody threw away. That had, I don't know, about 10 or 15 meters of that 1/8 fiberglass. It's got a bit of a bend to it, but nothing we can't work around. Then we've joined it together using bits of fuel pipe that I melted holes crossways in so that we could slide it over the chassis bodywork, and then put a cross piece in the middle there just to give us a bit of rigidity. At the back end, those are hard plastic tubes that the axles are in, so they're held in place by the same sort of fuel tube. Front end, we've got a long hard tube there, which I think is actually fiberglass tube, but it's nice and rigid so it doesn't crush when we put the rubber band around it. Front axle is a bicycle spoke, and the wheels are free to rotate on that, which gives us a very low friction run. And the back axle is a bamboo skewer or barbecue skewer. The wheels are my usual CDs with plastic bottle tops hot glued in the middle. So if you check out the video description, there's a link to my help files that shows you how to make them. They got pretty coloured sticky back plastic on them to make them look pretty. And that's it, I think. So you need a hot glue gun to make the CD wheels, and you needed a hot nail on a stick, or at least that's what I used, to melt the holes through the tubing. And you probably need a little hacksaw or something to cut your rods up to the right length. That's it. It's a bit longer than it probably should be, but I had those rods already. I'd used them for a kite, so I kept it that length. This will go for, I don't know, I mean it does 8 meters easily, and I'm doing nothing like winding up my rubber band as far as it will go. So I think it could go quite a lot further. Very free running that. Job done.